Hello guys and welcome to the Flat Chat Podcast's version of our SCOPS series. Guys, it's really good to be here on the Warmup Lap with Kevin. Thanks mate for letting us do this. I'm Jayce Richards, by the way, and Chris Cassie.
Chris Cassie, yeah.
We do a show that we represent the V8 SCOPS series with sponsors VRS and SimSpeed broadcasters. Yep. This is a series that was V8's Online. If you guys have ever heard of that or remember V8's Online, they've turned into SimSpeed. Yep. And we present a podcast and a show to represent the SCOPS series, which is for Australia and New Zealand. If you haven't noticed, we're from Australia. We have a series of the V8 supercar from iRacing with the Ford and the Holden Commodore and the Ford Falcon.
Yes.
As you can see, Chris is a Ford fan.
Just a little bit.
And we call it the battle of the blue and the red. I'm a Holden fan, so therefore the lumberjack shirt. But we're going to present what we consider is our favourite series in this part of the world. And if you guys have heard of it, that's great. If not, we hope to introduce you to some of the crazy stuff that goes on. Yeah. And show you some of the drivers too. So thanks for joining. And again, thanks for the warm-up lap. We really appreciate it, Kevin.
Yes.
So, yeah, SCOPS. Cassie, what's SCOPS all about?
Oh, mate, SCOPS is intense. If you've never driven the V8 supercar in iRacing, get on over to iRacing.com and give it a crack. And then if you need, some coaching, there's several services out there that can definitely help you, because this thing is tough to drive. Let me tell you, I've been in the car for 2.5 years now, and I'm just attempting to sort of break into the mix. So I make some of the broadcasts. Let me tell you, if you do make one of those races, though, you don't need to make one of the races. They're so entertaining to watch. But if you do make one of those races, be ready for a battle, because there are some of the best drivers in the world, in my opinion, running in that series. And some internationals as well. We've got some people from Canada, England, all over the place. United States, we've had people in the past as well. So, definitely. I'd definitely suggest that you go and check out V8 SCOPS.
Yeah, 100%. And we realise that most of the audience for this channel is probably from the US, and we're big fans of NASCAR.
NASCARs.
Absolutely, NASCAR.
Left,
which way are you turning, Cassie? I think to the left?
That's to the right. Sorry, I'm not used to this whole camera thing. We do, as I said, we do an audio podcast, so I'm not used to having to make hand motions and all that kind of stuff. And see this guy's face in person,
I know, it's tough. Yeah. I know. I have to look at it every day in the mirror. But look, we're fans of the Anti-Freeze series, the NASCAR series. Ray Alfala, that's a pretty big name. Yeah. Especially when we work with the guys at VRS, we know how important the data packs and the coaching is for the NASCAR series. And setups for NASCAR. Don't even get me started. I have no idea where I would start.
What?
Yeah. He's gone.
That's how.
The car sits like this on the track.
I've tried, mate. But you Americans anyway. If there's many Americans watching, you guys really know what you're doing with those cars. No idea. So, if you think about the V8 supercar, and we look at drivers that we admire in the real world, like Marcos Ambrose, for example. And Marcus, hey mate, if you're watching, it's really a privilege if you are watching this. But so, for example, Marcos Ambrose going from the V8 Supercar Series as a champion and then going over to NASCAR to see Penske. With Penske, exactly. Yeah. And then obviously bringing them back here to... They've changed our series completely, yeah.
They have absolutely just taken over in the last couple of years, and that's all because of Marcos. And the thing is, to watch Marcos go over to the oval racing, that was one thing in itself, and I think we got a lot of NASCAR fans in our country because of that. But also... You see Marcos Ambrose at the Watkins Glen, and that's because...
What a weapon.
We're so proud of it.
Yeah, look, we're absolutely proud to have someone like Marcos go over to the NASCAR series. I know we've had some people in the past, not quite as big when they were over here, but when they went over there, did a good job. I know that there's rumours around that our current V8 Supercar champion, Scott McLaughlin, has got that in the future as well, and he's driving with Dick Johnson Racing, or Team Penske, as you guys know it as in the United States or overseas, and they're such a dominant team. Look, there's so much to take out of both series, and I suppose we're here to sort of bridge the gap between our styles of series. There's lots of different. There's GT series out there as well. A lot of the Europeans watch, and we've got a couple ourselves, and we're just really looking forward to bringing you some information about what I believe to be one of the most competitive competitions in iRacing.
Yeah, look, we might be biased, but as far as the competition goes and the thrills and the spills on track and off track too, which is what we want to bring you to, of the Supercar Online Premier Series, in abbreviated SCOPS. We really do feel like that's where it's at as far as the competitive racing and the craziness that goes on with all the people inside the series. So why don't we introduce you guys to some of the drivers that we'll be seeing throughout this season, which 2019 is kicking off this weekend actually. Montreal. Who are we going to talk about first?
Let's get Trans-Tasman Racing.
Trans-Tasman Racing.
Let's do it. I reckon Madison Down.
So this is Madison Down. He's like our godfather, I guess you call him.
Yeah, the smiling assassin as well.
The smiling assassin, the nicest guy in the series. I don't know, he's like your kind of Jeff Gordon, isn't he, of our series. He's won multiple championships, and he started when he was literally a tiny toddler with a steering wheel.
We have photos with him, like sitting on his dad's lap with a sim racing wheel. It's absolutely crazy.
It's incredible.
Like how crazy how young he started.
And he literally won his first championship back like quite a few years ago by driving with a Logitech G27 hooked onto a skateboard on his lap. He won the championship.
I'm so jealous, you have no idea.
So you guys might have heard of Madison, but anyway, right now he is the proud owner and manager of TTR, Trans-Tasman Racing. And last year he just had to let go of our series champion, Jared Filsell, who we'll get onto in a minute. But he is pretty much like the name in our sport, so Madison Down. And this year he's going to be running the 77 car. He's looking to be pretty competitive, but he's also getting on in his years, and he's got to
getting on in his years, as in younger than both of us for sure. And he's still got. I still think he's got a lot of time ahead of him. So you never know. This could be his year.
Maybe it's his year. Hopefully, if he put time and effort into the car as much as he does into the team, like he's got a lot of energy he's got to put into running that team. Yeah, this team has been the
number one team in Australia for a long time.
Yeah,
and well known. There was previously, and as I said, we'll mention that before, but they've had pro drivers in the past, including Madison, and some Jake Burton, who's also left the team recently, but another pro driver. These guys have been seen in the World GT3 Series, and they will be seen in other World Championships in the coming future.
Definitely. So they are the form team over the last couple of years. So we'll see how Madison goes.
It's got one of the other personalities in their team.
So they have, So this is a driver, and she goes by the name of Emily Jones.
Yeah.
Emily Jones is a fantastic driver, really, really fast. She's won quite a few different races here and there and series here and there, but it's not just the driving that makes her so popular.
No, not just that. She's such an entertaining... if you guys ever want to check out an entertaining iRacing streamer, head over to twitch.tv/Emery. It's really awesome. We might even have a link down in the post there for you guys. But check her out. She's definitely one of the most entertaining around. And you might be able to learn a few tips and tricks from her as well.
Yeah, she's got quite a big following. Obviously, a beautiful girl and really fast in the supercar as well as other cars too. So check Emery out on Twitch for sure.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. How about we go to our reigning defending three-time V8 Supercars Online Premier Series champion. We're going to move over now to...
This is...
Jared Filsell. You'll see him, if you guys watch any of the World Championships, you will see him soon. Very, very soon, there is no doubt.
Well, he's already in the Porsche qualifying series. He just won the last race that they had at Bathurst. Being that Bathurst is our home track, it's understandable. But he's been getting really good places in the top 10, top 5 in the Porsche qualifying series. So look out for him. I mean, the Porsche qualifying series for road racing has kind of this year taken over the F1 Grand Prix series in a way. They've got $100,000 prize pool up for grabs this year. We know that the Peak Antifreeze series is also quite up there as well. But to know that the road racing with the Porsche, it's sponsored by Porsche, is going to have such a big prize purse, and our very own Jared Filsell is going to be running in that with a really good contention is something exciting for us. But he will be competing in SCOPS this year as a defending champion, and he's going to be the man to beat.
The rumour is in qualifying he runs full fuel.
Yeah,
so that sounds like I'm talking about the stick.
I know. Yeah, some say that Jared Filsell runs 120 litres of fuel for qualifying, which I don't know how many gallons that is.
No, I'm not sure.
40 or
sorry,
something like
sorry,
that.
guys. You might have to Google it. Open up a new tab. Make sure you keep this open. But,
It's about the same size tank as your kind of standard Land Rover, kind of like 4-wheel drive.
Camaro. Something like
A Camaro, there you go.
There you
Exactly.
go. There you go.
120 litres is quite a lot, though, for a normal car, right?
I would dare say yes.
Yeah. I don't have no idea. But they burn through that stuff like you wouldn't believe.
4 litres a lap, 4.5 litres per a lap at Bathurst. So
Exactly.
That gives you an idea.
So, guys, watch out for Jared Filsell, not only in the Porsche qualifying series this year, but also in SCOPS. Who we got next?
Young gun, real life driver.
Real life driver. This guy is... Who is it?
Mate, it's Ethan Grigol. I can't believe it, mate.
Ethan Grigol.
Oh,
What a legend. He's one of the champions of our series and our sport this year.
Yeah, he literally. So we literally had a competition in Australia called the Aussie Driver Search.
Aussie Driver Search.
We had probably 10 sim races in it out of about 107 people altogether. Yep. And the sim racers did an awesome job. It just shows how good iRacing really trains these guys up. Really, it contributes towards training them into real racing. But
I agree. You've been in? Well, I've had a chance to drive a kind of a race car, which was pretty fun, and I would, definitely. Well, the story is we went and saw a friend down at a racetrack here in Sydney, Australia, and he invited us to come out and have a bit of a joyride, I guess, in his Radical, which is part of the iRacing service as well, and Radical SR8. If you've driven the Radical, that's a pretty serious car. So we got a chance to go on the real one, and the first time we got a chance to actually sit in the passenger seat of this car, we watched our friend Michael, go around turn 1, which is a flat out 220 kilometers an hour, which is about 120 miles an hour, flat throttle. He went around it while we were watching, and we saw the rear diffuser just fly off into the air as he went around.
First time I've ever seen him go around a lap too, by the way.
And they're like, all right, boys, you're in the car next. Didn't fix the diffuser, by the way.
Nah, just chuck some more wing on it, it'll be all right.
So, this is an experience that we've got to have, and iRacing obviously does give you those kind of skills and maybe not the G-force, which is extraordinary in a real car, but you look at Ethan Grigol here, and he's actually taken his iRacing experience and gone out and literally won a drive in a real race car that he's going to be driving next season as a full-time gig. Yep. So
driving the Toyota 86s, from what we hear from last year's winner, also a sim racer, by the way, Jake Burton. We'll get to him later. He said that it is so similar to the MX-5. Yep. So the car that they're actually racing in the real life series, which is a reserve series to our main series, effectively. Our main, so like our V8 supercar series. It's one of the feeder series for that. So it just proves how good iRacing can do it. And look, we've seen pros from like professional NASCAR drivers, professional F1 drivers. Max Verstappen has been on tons recently.
For sure. And plenty of NASCAR drivers too.
Yeah,
for sure.
They're
IndyCar.
They're always over. IndyCar drivers.
There's heaps of IndyCar drivers on that we see in our servers sometimes. One of the things I wanted to say about the iRacing and the MX-5, it's like the street stock in Oval on iRacing. The MX-5 is kind of like the street stock version, and our friend here, Ethan Grigol, is going to be driving the real life version of that car. So
we can't wait. He came third, just to cover you guys up, on last year's V8 Supercars Online Premier Series. He was battling for the victory of the series till the very last round. So that's heads off to this bloke. He's 19 years old. Something crazy like that. Yep. He's been a professional esports gamer before in Battlefield, I think it was, so like this guy's obviously talent personified, and the fact that he gets to drive in a real life racing series this year, really I can't wait to see what he can do in both.
Yep, 100%.
Cool.
All right, who we got next?
Oh, let's. I reckon we move on to our Bathurst champions.
So these guys, okay. So the team is named Trick SimSports. Now these guys are GT3 car specialists, I guess. The drivers from the team are all GT3 car specialists, except for this fellow here. His name's Forzan. And Forzan is this young guy from New Zealand who happened to just leave one of the teams that kind of broke down last year, hop into one of these trick cars halfway through the year. This is a GT3 team. They're not really interested in the V8 supercar or SCOPS. He just gets in the car and goes out and wins our greatest race of the season, which is a 1,000 kilometre race, 600 miles, and he gets in the car and wins. So this team is one to look out for this year. This talent here that you can see is phenomenal. He's only in his teens, I believe. And
look, I don't know what you guys are like around the world there, but I know that as Aussies, I don't want to stereotype, but we like to dig for the underdog.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? These guys were the underdog last year, and they come up against. We mentioned Jared Filso before. Joshua Rogers, if you guys ever follow the World Championship Series, Josh Rogers is featured in that quite a bit.
Josh Rogers is actually teamed up in Coanda with none other than Mitchell de Jong, who is the World Rallycross champion and drives a Red Bull, as well as Sage Karam, who was quite a star in the Indy Lights and IndyCar series. And one of our guys, Josh Rogers, who's only about 19 himself.
I think he's 20, yeah.
Yeah, he's driving with them, and he took the car that Sage Karam and Mitchell de Jong were driving in to victory at Daytona in the 24 hours about a month ago.
Yeah.
So
that was absolutely a proud moment for us. Yeah. But Forzen Anabi and the next guy that we're going to show showed them up. Yeah. They won. Yes, the other guys did get involved in some incidents, but
if you follow the series,
this next fellow is, if you guys ever want strategy, then watch a SCOPS race and look out for the trick car, because this guy, Ross Rizzo, he's good with numbers in real life, and let me tell you.
So a tax accountant, or an accountant, sorry, I shouldn't say tax, an accountant in real life, he's definitely good with the numbers, and he's known to basically just charge through any strategy call, and he took the guys to a win at Bathurst like we were talking about.
They were getting 2 laps extra per stint than every other car on track.
Yep. That's amazing, isn't it? 2 laps per stint. No wonder they won.
Yeah, I know. So, well, hold on, who called that?
I believe that was me.
I think you called it, mate. Yeah. Look, he called it in about lap 70 out of 160 odd. Yeah. He goes, Trick's got this. No.
Yeah.
Good call, Jayce.
Thanks,
call.
mate.
Good call.
Well, if you guys
again, every now and again.
I know, I've got to have a good call every once in a while. Hope it happens on the the good old Vegas odds sometimes.
Oh yeah, I know, when we come over.
But listen, Bathurst, what we're talking about, which these guys won. So Ross and Forzan won that race. It's like a religion for us. It's like the Daytona 500.
Yeah, that's what
it's like the IndyCar 500. Oh, what is it? Indy 500? Yeah, Indy 500. That's like our version of it, Bathurst. It's a racetrack that's in the middle of the countryside on a really steep mountainside, and basically the cars go around a track that in most parts of the world wouldn't even be sanctioned for a racetrack. It's quite dangerous. And these guys in the virtual series, like Ross and Forzan, to win that out of a team that wasn't even supposed to really enter the series it's phenomenal.
And it's an impossible track to drive around, let alone 161 times and then and belt out lap after lap on pace. So
So guys, if you're ever interested in it, Bathurst, I know that Kevin, you yourself and Marcus went and did the Bathurst 12 hour in the Mercedes and had a really good result. So if you guys out there haven't tried it, get into V8 Supercar, buy Bathurst and try and go around. If you can do 5 laps without hitting the wall, send us a replay and I'll give you a massive thumbs up for that.
You have to prove it though. You got to screenshot yourself purchasing the car just beforehand.
Yeah. We're not sponsored by iRacing at
all. No. Yeah. That could be free. I don't.
All right. So who else have we got? We've got Trick. We've got TTR. We've got ERT.
I think we might move on to Marlon McMullen. He's had an international success.
Isn't that an interesting choice? Marlon McMullen is a young fellow. I was going to say bloke.
This young bloke.
This guy here, this good-looking young lad, tends to just go over to the American V8 Supercar series and basically wipe the floor with everyone every single year for about 5 years in a row. Is that right?
10.
10.
He's won 10 seasons of the America's V8 Supercar series.
Sorry, guys.
You've got
to tell him to stop.
I apologise. Yeah, look, what I want to see is for you guys to do exactly what Jayce just suggested, buy the car and give it a crack, because Marlon needs someone to take him down a couple of pegs, and we don't want Jared Filsol to have to, jump into every series and save us. Yeah.
If he could. Well, we've got a few drivers.
Maybe someone can convince Mitchell de Jong, Martin Kroenke to come in and...
Martin Kroenke.
If any of you guys know them, just give them...
The the supercar doesn't have enough wings on it, Cassie, for those guys to properly drive it, I reckon.
Well, I don't know, man. I'm sure that if you give them enough laps, they'll be right on it.
I know, exactly. I agree with that. So, yeah, Marlon McMullen, he's obviously someone to watch out for. And how is the car livery? He drives for a team named CMR, which is Chris Moretta Motorsport. And Racing, Chris Moretta Racing. And that livery, though you can only see half of it there, it's probably one of the best ones on the grid in our SCOPS season this year. All right, who we got next?
Oh, man. This is a good one, actually. This is one where this person has a lot of exposure out in the world via YouTube. Generally, he does a bit of Twitch streaming these days, but Mr. Hobbo88.
Hobbo88. YouTube, Hobbo88. He'll get you around that Bathurst track in the V8 supercar quicker than we could, trust me.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
He does videos and tutorials on how to drive the car.
But on baseline, no setups. he actually has a series going where he's running the difference between his setup for the V8 Supercars Online Premier Series and baseline. A few tenths.
A few tenths, exactly.
I can't get a lap around in a baseline set, so he must be a machine.
And if you drive the car, even for the first couple of times, you'll realise that consistency, you just... I mean, I'm a fan of V8 Supercars, which is the real-world version of this sport. And I jumped in the car. I thought I knew how to drive a car. I mean, I can drive cars, trust me. But I jumped in the V8 Supercar and iRacing, and I was just like, what the heck is going on? Like, how do you get around the track in this thing? It's ridiculous. Yeah. And these guys can go within a couple of tenths every lap consistently. I mean, none other than this beautiful livery here that Hobbo runs. The Hobbo88 YouTube channel is a phenomenon, and he's got tens of thousands of subscribers. So if you are interested in trying to learn the car and get some tips and stuff, Hobbo88 at YouTube, go check it out.
Yeah, go in, have a chat with him. He'll respond to you. He's one of those people. He's a very good streamer. Not just entertaining, but he's very informative. And everyone always sees him as an all-round nice bloke. So go in and check him out.
Yep. All right, maybe we should cover off maybe 2 more teams, maybe?
Yeah, I reckon we go to another one of the real-life races. One of the ones who just lost his team.
Okay, so...
there was an announcement today.
There was an announcement today. This fellow here, as you can see by the picture, he is no joke. He definitely doesn't joke around with his racing in iRacing or his real-life racing career. He is the first driver to win a proper series as far as the V8... the Aussie Driver Cert Series... from an iRacing kind of start. He's a go-karter, but he basically won an entire race season in this Toyota 86 series just from being, a lot of the experience from being on iRacing. Jake Burton is his name, and he's a good representative for our sport, our Australian Aussie V8 supercars, and of iRacing and sim racing in general. Yeah,
absolutely, and he's also a coach on one of the sim racing platforms we mentioned before, where we talk about VRS a little bit, but Jake is a coach, and he's an absolute weapon on track. Took his first victory in V8 SCOPS last year. Thing is with Jake, right, and this is, look, I kind of feel for him. He was last year partnered up with Jared Filsell, the guy we were talking about before, the 3-time champion. He comes second to him how many times? A million times. Yeah. It was just, so if there was let's say there was 20 races, I'm pretty sure Burton came second or third in at least 7 of them.
It's just like always seemed to be under the kind of shadow of the phenom, which is Jared Filsell. I don't know if we mentioned, but Jared Filsell has won 39 SCOPS races out of like 75 starts.
There's only 15 rounds a year. There was actually less prior to this year. So,
but good on Jake. He does take his racing very, very seriously. Yeah. And one of the things about him is he is definitely a spokesperson and advocate for sim racing in general. As far as the growth of the series and the growth of the esport in general, because if you guys are watching and still listening, thank you for even doing so. We've been chattering on for ages, but the esport of sim racing is definitely growing, and in our side of the world, it's growing slowly but surely, and that's why it's good to get out to you guys too, because I know in America and around the world, it's probably a little bit more progressed, but this kind of guy is one of the ones who is making it happen for us in our country.
Yeah, he's the real deal. He's been a pro driver, been in the World GT3 Championships before as well. There's been there's been a lot of these drivers who have been around the block. They've earned their pro license. They've gone on to bigger and better things in real life and in sim racing. And that's what we just want to present some of the key figures to you guys. And yeah, Jake's definitely one of them.
And just bear in mind that number 35, he's actually changed to 33 this year. So if you're watching him, follow 33.
And sorry, Jake, if you're watching, mate. Look, I think we've got 2 more to go.
Yep.
From what I can think of.
Yep.
The first one is a international team themselves, and they've decided to come over and compete in V8SCOPS this year, and we're very excited to have XVR. You need to probably duck your head and have a look over at it.
XVR Racing.
We don't have any nice photos of them, but...
Yeah, Johnny, if you're watching this one, mate, we've got to get those photos. I know you didn't want it to happen, but we're promoting you anyway. Okay, and the great Union Jack there, which is definitely something that is nice to see in our series. SCOPS is so... confined sometimes to Australia and New Zealand and Bathurst and all of our kind of crazy culture of... I mean, if you look at the history of someone like Bathurst, I mean, it was only about 10, 15 years ago where they stopped people from rioting on the top of the mountain, drinking cases and cases of beer.
7 years ago.
7 years ago. There is footage of people flipping their own cars and setting them alight just to create a bonfire, campfire for the night at the top of the mountain so they could keep drinking until race start the next morning. This is the kind of culture that we're coming from here.
That's the stereotype that everyone thinks that we do that anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Riding the kangaroos down the street.
Yeah, we don't ride kangaroos to work. Just saying.
No.
Not this week
only
anyway.
between here and the shops.
So look, XVR, these guys are from England. They are Johnny Brandon is the European champion for our type of car, the supercar, and he's come over to do his bid in this particular 2019 SCOPS series. So I wish them luck. I have no idea where they're going to fall as far as their placings in the standing, but they're definitely one that I'm keeping an eye on to see where they go.
Oh, look, it'll be interesting. There's from what we've been told, they're kind of like from the get-go, they could very well be in the mid to sort of front of the pack, and that'd be really exciting to see an international team like that come along. And we've had internationals in our series. We had Marie Harushka last year driving our series, and she was very competitive. And Tony Kalustam in the past.
Canadian ex-rally driver from Canada. He actually was driving in our series for a bit, and he's really fast.
Yeah, he's an absolute worker.
These guys are really... I don't know, I kind of put them as the real deal. Like, they're really putting a good campaign this year forward for 2019 SCOPS, because you win the championship in Europe, and we're not saying that our series is better or worse or anything. It's just that the dedication, the almost religious way that we take our V8 supercar racing here in real life and on iRacing is kind of second to none. And it's probably actually quite parallel to the way that NASCAR is taken over in the US. It's very religious. It's very much a lifestyle. And these guys want to come and bring their talent to see how they go in our series.
Yeah, absolutely.
So speaking of international talent, international team.
Now, if you guys haven't heard of this team, you will soon.
Yeah.
If you guys have any passion about sim racing, in my eyes, JC's eyes, this team is the fastest growing team in sim racing. They are the reigning defending Bathurst 12-hour champions.
Yep. In
2 different categories out of the 3. Obviously, Coanda got 1.
You mean the Daytona 24 hour?
Sorry, Daytona 24 hour. What did I say?
The Bathurst. They did pretty well in Bathurst
12 hour.
Anyway.
Yeah, they're good in all of it. If you watch the Neo Enduro series, that's another one that they are absolutely dominating at the moment.
Yes.
So, that is
Altus Esports.
Altus Esports.
It's in the name.
It's in the
game.
It's in the name.
I don't know. It's something. We've got to work that out.
Yeah. Okay.
But Dane Warren here, he's a young chap. He is from the southern states of our country, and he is a go-karter. He's pretty handy in a go-kart. He's quite a young man. He's only 19?
Yes,
19? Okay.
Yeah.
So he's so fast that I can let you guys know that he won this kind of event called the Motum Simulator VSR Challenge, which is like the virtual sim racing to real life challenge, where they got sim racers to compete in a sim, and whoever won the competition got to drive a Formula 4 car, which is a serious bit of car. I mean, this kind of thing is up. Mazda, picking the radical. This guy just went out about probably 12 hours ago now, and beat one of our pro drivers' times in the car on his first day. This is how good this guy is.
Yeah.
And he's driving the V8 supercar for Altus this year. So, I mean, he's one of our favourites because we know his talent. He hasn't had a win yet, but this year?
No, he hasn't. Hey, look, he's never had a win. He's become very, very close. Once again, that old Jared Filcell. He had he was leading for 27 laps of a 28-lap race at Sonoma, which I'm sure you guys are very familiar with. Yeah. And Jared got him in the last lap. So
the luck wasn't with him.
Look, and I think being paired up with a team like Altus, so he's new to Altus. He's come from a team that's since disbanded. That team, I mean, how long have they been together? 6 months? Altus is
6 months. Simon Feigl is the mastermind behind this particular team.
They have 8 pro drivers out of 10 drivers, or something like that. Like, it's insane. They've done a great job in all areas. They've brought on this bloke as well, Sam Blacklock. Another. This is a former TTR driver, Trans-Tasman Racing. He's come over this season to hopefully for bigger and better things. Besides his design, paintwork, and all that kind of stuff.
Well, Sam Blacklock Media is what he does. He takes iRacing photography, so for photos, and he does a fantastic job. So Sam, he's actually, you can see the photo of the 4 Altus cars lined up there. That's some of Sam's work. So he's actually contactable at Sam Blacklock Media on Facebook. If you want any really good iRacing photography done like that for a really good price, he's definitely someone to check out.
100%.
Yeah, for sure. But to go from a team like Trans-Tasman Racing, which we mentioned was kind of like the dominant team for so many years, that's the kind of pull that Altus have.
Yeah.
To bring someone like Sam over.
He's a good kid too. Call him a kid, he's 20.
Well, most of these sim racers are kids, aren't they? We're definitely not that young. But
well, if he's not a kid, I'll tell you what, he shaves his beard quite well.
Well, he's taller than me. No, this is just trick photography.
No doubt about that one.
Well, mate, that was good to go through the drivers. I think that's about everyone, isn't it?
Mate, I think that brings us to us back to reality. Back to reality, mate.
So we really...
It's hot in the studio, I'm not going to lie.
I know, we haven't got any air conditioning in here, but thank you guys if you're watching all the way to this point in the show. We just really want to entertain and encourage anyone to check out the series, which is SCOPS, Supercars... What is it? Supercars Online Premier Series.
That's it.
Can't even talk about it.
There we go, mate. It's okay. Make sure you check it out. It's on the iRacing Esports network or the SimSpeed network as well. So
the SimSpeed Broadcasting Network is really important to check them out because that's where all the broadcasts come from for this particular series and other ones as well. But America, international, please check it out. You can tell how much we love it because we have talked for about 25 minutes on it. So...
You know what? If you guys want to give us any suggestions, any short clips you want us to watch and react to, I'd be really interested to seeing some of the action they've got overseas, and we want to know who's actually watching this. We want to know what part of the world you're from and what you're into. Okay, so make sure you let us know. Put it in the comments below, or hit us up on Flat Chat Podcast. Just search it up on Facebook; it'll come up. Or you can check us out on simspeed.tv/entertainment.
And we'll also link our YouTube channel. We don't even have enough subscribers yet to even have a name on it. So please subscribe to the channel. If you like this at all, if you like what we've got, if you think it's a good show, then please check it out and subscribe so we can create more content for you. Kevin, thanks so much, mate. The Warmup Lap, absolutely killing it, and really a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time we have a show.
Next time.